Hi, guys. So here we are. It's Tuesday. We made it through Monday. Everything's good, right? Yeah. Yeah. If not, I hope you can turn it around and it can become good. Mondays can be a little rough just because, you've had a weekend to relax. So there you go. Um, so we're talking about healthy relationships and important components of healthy relationships. Communication is going to have one on its own. It is probably the biggest component of any relationship that you will have, whether it be at home, at work, out in out and about in the environment, wherever you are. Communication is key. And unfortunately, some of us don't have the best communication skills. It's hard, guys. Communicating is hard. Telling people how we think, how we feel, sharing our thoughts, feelings, and opinions, all of that can be very, very difficult for some. Some people can just do it and not care. I mean, they're just like, this, and this. Others struggle, okay? And unfortunately, when you're struggling and we're not communicating, it puts a big barrier up in any relationship that you have. Therefore, it just makes that relationship very unhealthy. Like, if I can't tell my mom, I I don't know. My mom and I have a pretty good relationship. How about this? How about if I can't tell William, hey, I feel this way, and this is what happened, and this is what I did. If I can't communicate things with him, then what does that bring to the relationship? Okay. Now, communication's been a struggle bus for real. Like, so many people, and I realize now so many people have went through life without any communication. I was pretty blessed in the aspect that my mom's also been in a therapeutic setting for most of her life, and I don't have a problem communicating with most people. Um, just doesn't have a problem. I don't have a problem with that. I'm pretty easy to tell you how I feel, but there are still times that I have to work on it. Like, I have to work on being honest with my feelings and communicating appropriately to be able to get my thoughts and feelings out. Okay. And a lot of times in communication, misunderstanding is the biggest problem because um, if we misunderstand something, then it puts it into a whole new level of it can trigger or hurt or, it does something else to the whole relationship. So you have to really engage and learn who you're communicating with. Always be mindful of, how they're going to perceive it or what it's going to come out and what they're going to hear. Um, because there's times I can tell somebody the sky is blue and like, oh, let me say, yeah, the sky is blue. But there's times that I might say like, well, man, the other day when we were, at the sky was kind of purple, but it was kind of blue, and I just really didn't know. And then there was a little bit, it becomes confusing. So the person that we're talking to isn't able to focus and understand. So we get lost in that communication role, right? And it's horrible because we communicate every day. um, Also, just respectful communication, you know? You can come and tell me you didn't like what I did, but if you come at me and start cussing at me or yelling at me and telling me you don't like what I did, all you're going to do is shut me down. I'm going to shut down. I'm going to feel offended. It's going to hurt, and it's going to be a whole new issue, right? So think about how you're saying it, the tone that you're using. Um, think about your audience. Who are you talking to? Like, you guys. I can't assume all of you are my age and in life doing what I'm doing. You may be 16, so I need to be able to say things in many ways for you to comprehend something that's a little different than the other. If you're, 45, at 16, I don't know that I even knew what proper communication was. Maybe I did. I don't know. But I do today only because of the challenges and the learning and the time invested and understanding the importance of communication. Okay. So Nothing irritates me more than hearing somebody answer the phone. What are you doing? You don't know that number. It's not saved in your phone. So what about a hello? How are you? Like just proper communication bugs me. Um, I go into work and I work with, primarily children. And a lot of them know more cuss words than I ever thought I would at anywhere from 10 to 16. Like, I promise you, in my home, if I would have used the words they use, my mama would have let me know about it quick. So I have one person that I talk to, and they cannot say hello without saying a cuss word. And it really just makes me. So I sat down with them the other day, and I'm like, look, I know that's what you're used to. I get it. I understand. Okay? However, you are fixing to hit a big new world, and that's not normal when you're having conversations with your teacher, with your, caseworker or your therapist, or, you know, a whole list of people aren't going to find that acceptable, and it's going to give them the wrong image of you. And you're really a dear person, but your mouth, that mouth, like, we got to work on that. And he looked at me and he's like, is it that bad? And I'm like, yeah, it is. So we did for our session, we did this thing where every time that he used a cuss word, I just marked it down on a piece of paper. Okay. By the time we were done, and in an hour, let's say not even an hour, let's say the first part of that conversation took 10 minutes. In a 50-minute span, that boy had cussed 32 times. 32 times. Not even lying. And I'm just like cringing because I cannot even think about what he's heard in life. Like, where's that okay? Okay? So I show him at the end, and he's like, no way. And I'm like, seriously? He's like, no way. For real. It's serious. So all I had to do was show him a mindfulness, show him a little bit of what I was observing. And then, we created some goals for our next session. And he's like, okay, so how about if I work to decrease my cussing by half? And I'm like, buddy, if you can get down to half by next session, you're amazing and you can do anything you want to do in life. So let's do it. So I have a group with him after that, and he still cusses. I'm not gonna lie. I walk in and he's like, "Hi, Miss Diane," but it's not nowhere near. Now, mind you, it's fresh on his mind, so it's nowhere near as bad as what it had been. So I'm talking to staff and I'm telling him, and I'm like, "Okay, let's hold him accountable." And part of holding him accountable is if he's willing to work on it, I need you to help him. Just a little bit of redirection. And they're like, okay. So I'm interested to see what Monday holds when we walk in and see what's happening, right? It's going to be a whole new world for us. We're going to hope anyways. But his communication is only what he's learned. And when it comes to getting to the meat of it, that was, very hard because I didn't know what the meat was because of everything else that he was saying. It was just catching me off. So I had to appropriately communicate with him my feelings on it too, without making him feel that it was bad. I didn't want him to think that it was bad. I wanted him to know that others could see that that was not appropriate, because we do have other ways to say things, right? Not every word to describe something has to be a cuss word. And so, yeah, I mean, communication starts when we're young. They always say your kid's going to say what you teach them. Your kid says what you teach them. They only hear what you say. And they're listening, guys. Everybody around us is listening. Okay? So if you go to Walmart, if you go to work, if you go, if you're in your own home, if you're out and about, if you're at church, if you're whatever, wherever you're at, be mindful of the words that are coming out of your mouth and the audience that you're holding. Because even though you don't know it, they could be getting something from you. Okay? So, with that being said, communication is one of the biggest components of every relationship you will have. Okay? If you are told, hey, Diane, we're going to hire you to do this, and this. Okay? And if you don't agree to that and you don't raise your hand and say no, it's okay, because you've never been able to communicate that back, so they don't know. So it becomes okay. If you have a bestie that, does something that is frustrating you, it's okay to tell them. If your kid is not acting appropriate, it's okay to tell them. If you have friends that are doing a great job, it's okay to tell them. Anything that you think, feel, and believe is okay to talk about. Just be mindful about how you're putting it out there and who is listening. Okay? So the challenge with that would be, think about your communication, think about what you're saying, and think about your audience, and tell me, do you think your communication is the best? Is there things that you could work on? I know there is. Me, every day, it's I have to be very actively thinking about what I need to say. So, you guys, that's our Tuesday. We're done with that. We're going to move on to Wednesday. And we're going to be at hump day, right? Yeah. So, this is going to be my last recorded video for Sunday. And then I'll make you some fresh content on a different day. So come back for our hump day, and you guys have a great day. Thanks.